Oh, it's exciting to be here. I'm Lee Turner and I'll be asking some questions to the veterans from Team Bike Exchange and the first ever Team Kern Pharma. We'll start with the tough questions first. Which team are you riding for?
Kern Pharma.
BikeExchange-Jayco.
Which bike are you riding? Are you a TCR man or a Propel man?
Propel.
Propel Giant.
Giant Propel.
Giant TCR.
Giant.
The Giant bike.
How many years have you been in the pro Peloton?
I've been in the Peloton 1 year, 2 years ago.
4th year in the Peloton. 6th season.
3 years.
This is my 5th year.
11 years in the pro Peloton.
11th season.
9th year in the Propel Peloton and my 1st year with the team.
Is this the first time for you at the La Vuelta?
Yes.
My first Vuelta. First time in La Vuelta.
First time in La Vuelta.
Yeah.
This is my first Vuelta.
Yes. Second.
No, this is actually my 5th Vuelta.
And in a Grand Tour?
Yes, it's my first time. First time in a Grand Tour.
Also.
First Granny, yeah.
No.
This is my 10th Grand Tour.
This will be my 13th.
Currently my 9th Grand Tour.
When did you first dream of racing a Grand Tour?
Grand Tour was so just as a kid, I think you always wanted to be part of them.
That's when I first started following cycling, and ever since then I've wanted to compete on the biggest races.
Probably when I turned pro.
I think I first dreamed of racing a Grand Tour when I was a rider, but I didn't really know it was possible to do a Grand Tour. Probably back in 2003 when Lance was destroying people.
When I started the cycling. When I was 12 maybe, in small categories, watching Tour de France with my father.
Probably when I saw my first pro contract, it's kind of like, yeah, you just hope to be selected into the world's biggest races, and Grand Tours are kind of the big pinnacle of that. So
I watched La Vuelta and Tour de France on TV when I was young. When I started riding my bike when I was 12.
How was your reaction when you got that first call up to do your first Grand Tour?
I was so excited and with ambition.
A lot of happiness. It was amazing to know I would be here.
It was always part of the plan this year, and happy to be here.
I was pretty excited. I remember it was in 2019 for the Giro, and yeah, we went in with Yates there, and I think I was yeah, pretty excited. But I also remember being pretty nervous, also training with a lot of fear of just making it through.
My first Grand Tour was in 2014. It was at the Giro. Had a pretty good start of the season and got the call up for the Giro, which was really exciting for me. Started with the Triple T, which was just a bonus as well.
It was the Giro 2013. I was 2nd year professional, and yeah, I was pretty ecstatic. It was on the cards already from the start of the season, but yeah, I mean, it was a great honour to do the Giro, and I love the Giro, and it was really special.
yeah, I mean the first time I got called up for Grand Tour was definitely a lot of excitement, but also a little bit of fear, and that fear was definitely good. It ended up being a little bit more than I could chew, and ended up pulling out after on stage 14. So it was a tough one for me.
Where were you on this day last year?
Last year I was racing with Equipo Lizarte, Tour del Porvenir.
Riding the Slant Tour.
In my home with the Bell's paralysis, with health issues.
Coming back from COVID, maybe.
At the Volta.
I have no fucking idea.
In Belgium, in Benelux tour.
Where was I today last year? Probably here at the Vuelta.
And where do you see yourself today next year?
Today next year, probably back at the Vuelta.
Maybe not here.
Hopefully I'll be at the Vuelta.
Probably at the Volta.
Maybe at the Vuelta.
I hope again in La Vuelta.
Here in the Vuelta, racing again.
On La Vuelta. I hope to see myself winning a race.
Rightio, now I want you to be the commentator of your teammate winning or losing a stage, and it's got to be in Spanish.
Se acerca Raúl García a la línea de meta y va a marcar el mejor tiempo. Raúl García, campeón de España. Ahí va Roger Adrià, arranca el sprint, ¡victoria!
Ahí va Roger Adrià, el catalán, el de Barcelona. Va a batir, va a ganar y pasa primero. Want me to commentate? No, I can't do that, come on.
In English?
Yeah.
How would you react winning or losing a stage?
Well, I imagine my reaction to winning or losing stage would be very different to each other. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of a lot of things more special than winning a stage of Grand Tour or stages here at the Vuelta. So I feel like I've been trying almost my entire career to do it, and I think there'd be a lot of emotion if I were able to pull it off.
Winning or losing, well, I lose more than I win, so standard reaction probably for the lose thing. But to win a Grand Tour stage would be the dream, for sure.
That's what I have to say. I lose every day.
Yeah, I lose every day. I win at life, but yeah.
I would enjoy winning a stage, and if I lost a stage, well, I've done that every other stage, so.
Winning, I'd obviously be pretty excited. Losing, I'd be pretty disappointed.
Bus saluting.
What did you do?
I think with a lot of happiness, it would be amazing and a dream come true.
What's your favorite Spanish dish and drink?
My favorite Spanish food is tortilla de patata, of course, and my favorite drink is the red wine.
Pizza and Coca-Cola. Tortilla de patatas and drink, I don't know, water.
Alhambra, and dish paella.
Spanish drink is Alhambra, the beer from Granada, and dish would be paella.
Paella in the summer at the beach, some good Spanish wine.
The Alhambra beer, probably not the only one who said that. And I love a good big Spanish rice paella.
Red wine we live in Girona near Empordà, and I think they got a great selection of vino. Dish, probably patatas bravas. Yeah, I can't beat them.
Now, the all-important question, sangria or cerveza? Which one?
Probably cervezas over sangria.
Cerveza.
Una cerveza.
Cerveza.
I don't like.
For the people who don't know, can you tell us the difference between Continental and the World Tour team?
The main difference is the average speed and maybe the last climb of the race. The rhythm along all the stage.
The level of team and the level of races they can do.
Continental's lower level than World Tour.
The World Tour is the highest ranked, probably we won't. The league that we probably won't even be in next year.
I don't know, World Tour is the highest level and Conti is the second highest level.
Being in the World Tour, you know you're going to be at the world's hardest races and racing against the highest level of competition in cycling that there is, and I think that's probably the biggest difference.
Who's your favourite cyclist in the pro peloton?
A lot of the guys on this team are probably my favorites. It's hard to pick one. It's like choosing your favorite kid.
In the peloton, I'd say Philippe Gilbert. I grew up watching him and actually got to know him quite well in the peloton, and yeah, I'm a big fan, and it's his last season, so it's been good to race with him, and yeah, got a lot of respect for what he's done on the bike, and yeah.
Luis Leon Sanchez is someone that I've always enjoyed watching and racing against.
I don't know. Vingegaard.
That's tough. It would have been Michael Matthews until I became teammates. Now, since I'm like mates with him, I feel like I have to change that opinion. So now it's probably Happy, Cameron Wine.
Alaphilippe, Wout van Aert. Valverde, Wout van Aert.
And also your favourite from all the sports you're into?
My favorite athlete is Michael Jordan.
Fernando Alonso, Kilian Jornet.
Matsik from Czech Republic, the Dakar driver in trucks.
Rafael Nadal.
Michael Jordan.
Probably an Australian cricketer, Ricky Ponting, Matthew Hayden.
I'm a rugby man. Always grew up wanting to play for the Wallabies. So anyone from the Wallabies, really, from that early 2000 period when we won the World Cup, it was pretty special.
Probably NFL professional football player, J.J. Watt. Yeah, great guy. I mean, yeah, does a lot of great things for charity and yeah, great person to look up to.
What's it like back having huge crowds around again?
It feels amazing having their cheer. It's so good to race. It's incredible going on a climb and all the people like helping you to go up.
I think it's fantastic. It's something that gives sense to our sport, and sometimes can be stressful, but I like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's always adds a bit of an element when you're riding up hills pretty, sometimes slowly, pretty fast. But yeah, I think it always makes you go a little bit harder, which is always nice. Yeah, especially in Volta when you go up north, you get the Bass fans and they're really into it, and yeah, definitely encourages you.
Having a massive crowd helps a lot, especially when we're in the mountains on the final climb, cheering us on.
No, I do like it. Yep, I do like it.
Riding this massive wall of noise and people and times like that are you can take a step back and think, wow, this is pretty damn cool.
What do you prefer, the tough mountain stages or the tough sprint stages?
Definitely mountain stages.
Sprints.
Mountains.
Sprint.
Oh, that's just a tricky one. I don't know. Like in between.
I think I have to prefer probably mountain stages. I think just as overall stress level, it can be a lot less, just because it's more or less, you know, wherever your legs are is where you're gonna end up.
Mountain stages. I prefer mountain stages.
Who's your most annoying teammate?
My what? Annoying. Maybe it's Kiko Galvan.
Kiko Galvan, but in good version.
There's not really anyone on my mind, otherwise I would have answered it by now. I'll go throw Jazzo under the bus.
Can't answer that. Stay safe. Most annoying teammate? Nah, I can't answer it.
Just give it an pass.
They're all good guys, eh? They're all good guys. I hate people snoring, so anyone who snores.
And the most serious?
You would think Callum Scottson, but not.
Oh, Aussies are just, it's hard to really picture Aussies as serious people.
Dylan?
Do you want to answer it for me?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Probably Bling.
Ooh, no one.
Jose Felix Parra.
Repa. Jose Felix Parra.
What's been the worst moment of your cycling career to date?
Maybe a big crash 2 years ago in Vuelta a Segovia. A big crash last year in Algarve.
The worst was this year, a few months ago, when I crashed and broke my collarbone.
Last year, when the belt paralysis happened to me.
Probably just last season in general.
Worst moment of my cycling career would be crashing out of the Tour de France last year.
Probably the crashes, but touch wood, I've been quite lucky.
I had a big crash in 2017, in Tour de France, the first stage. I broke my ankle, and that was a long road back recovery, so I was pretty low, but you know, I'm here now, so it's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. 2017, I had a pretty terrible year where it just felt like nothing could actually go right. It's hard to pinpoint one exact day that it was, but probably collectively that entire year.
What's been the best moment of your cycling career to date?
Finishing the Tour de France in 2018, I fractured my shoulder on the first stage and made through the entire finish and was able to celebrate with my family in Paris, and that was pretty cool.
Probably when I won the Worlds in Copenhagen, under 23. My family was there, my wife was there, and yeah, that was just the whole process of that, and it was a perfect TT, and yeah, it was really special.
Hopefully it's still to come.
Winning TDU when Daryl Empey went back-to-back and Matty Hayman retired on the same day.
The Vuelta stage win.
When I took the third place in the European Championship.
Last year in the Uslan Tour, we rode as a team and like a family.
Winning the Spanish Championship of TT. Maybe the best moment is when I knew I became professional cyclist.
Who's a retired cyclist you'd love to have in a breakaway, and who's another one you'd hate to have in the breakaway?
I would like to be in a breakaway with Joaquim Purito Rodriguez, and he would win me in a hard final climb, but it would be good to be with him. Maybe Alberto Contador.
Matt Hayman. Cancellara.
Any one of my teammates? That's a catch-22 question though, isn't it, a bit? Because like, you want a strong bloke, but at the same time, you don't want someone who's going to beat you. Someone who I wouldn't want would be someone who's going to beat me.
Jens Voigt, I would love to be in a breakaway with. Probably also Jens Voigt, because he'd destroy me.
Love to have a breakaway with me. I'd probably have Swain Tuft, Simon Gerrans. Yeah, take your lunch money while he's at it.
I don't know, it's probably a controversial answer, but I'd love to just rip it with Lance, to be honest. Probably Lance, yeah.
Oh, this is controversial, this next one. Rim or disc brakes?
Disc brakes.
Disc brakes.
Disc brakes.
Rim brakes.
Now I'm going to the real hard questions. Tubeless or tubulars?
Tubeless.
Tubular. Tubular.
Tubeless.
Tubulars.
Tubeless. Tubeless.
Tubular.
It really depends on the stage, but I think I'm starting to lean more towards tubeless.
Now, TCR or the new Propel? Which bike is it for you?
At this point with the new Propel, it's going to probably be the only bike I ride for the rest of my life.
Propel.
TCR.
TCR.
Barcelona or Real Madrid?
Barcelona for sure. Real Madrid.
Barcelona.
Barca.
Barcelona.
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 Outside of cycling, what's your hobby?
Hobby? I like to go fishing with my dad.
I play the drums a little bit. I'm pretty good on a stand-up paddleboard, and I don't mind cooking a bit.
Catching up with friends and family, going to the beach, having nice long lunches.
Well, I'm going to say golf, but like I'm not good at it.
Oh, hanging out. Socialising.
My hobby is spending time with my family and girlfriend.
Watching movies.
Be with my friends. Bouldering.
Now, I need you to convince the fans to cheer for you at the next stage. Can you give me like 25 words or less why the fans should cheer for you on the next stage?
Animaros a seguirnos. Os esperamos en las cunetas. Os animo a que vengáis a animarnos en las próximas etapas, que con vuestros ánimos es más fácil.
Apoyadme porque siempre que os veo os tiraré un botellín.
What does that mean?
Now, finally, say goodbye to the fans the way you'd prefer. How would you like to say goodbye to the fans?
Adios.
Adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos.
Goodbye, fans.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Hasta pronto.
Bye.
I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. Goodbye everyone.